Hi guys, and welcome back to Used and Reviewed. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a storage and flash drive, the Kingmax PD-09. We're also going to be doing some speed tests, so keep your eye out for this later on in the video. In terms of this particular device, it's a USB 3.0 flash drive. You can get it in 4, 8, 16 and 32GB flavours, and it also comes in a pink colour. I personally opted for this sort of grey colour. In terms of the box, as you can see, the read speeds we've got are between 85 and 90 megabytes per second, with write speeds between 15 and 30 megabytes per second. As with a lot of quoted speeds, I'll be really surprised if when we do the speed test we're getting that sort of performance. In fact, I would pretty much say it's not going to happen. In terms of the rest of the box, we've got a 5-year warranty included with the device, and as you can see there's 3.0 USB branded about all over the place. Again, on the back you can see 3.0 specification, high speed USB 3 standard, and the dimensions of the actual drive. So let's take a look at the device in a bit more detail before we go ahead and run the speed tests. I'll just open the packaging like so. Now there is a little bit more information on the inside around precautionary use of the device, some information about the warranty, and a little bit about Kingmax as well and its brand. Pop that to one side, pop out the flash drive, and there we go. So the actual material that's used for this flash drive, it's actually solid aluminium, so it's really nicely built. I really like that. So at the top end we have a translucent cap, as you can see, the blue connection for the USB 3 there. The cap goes on like so, and at the opposite end we've got a little hole there to be obviously connected up to a keyring, so you can obviously use this when you're travelling out and about. So as I just said, I mean, build quality, it feels really sturdy and a lot better than those sort of plasticky drives that you can obviously get hold of. So let's go and take a look at a few tests now and see how this device performs. So the first test I'm going to run is Roadkill's disk speed, and I'm actually going to run this test firstly at a USB 2.0 port, and then we're going to try the device in USB 3.0. Obviously the flash drive is backwards compatible USB 2, so I thought it would be a good idea to show you both performances from the drive as well. So whilst that's running, I'll just pause the video and we'll see what the results are. So the test is finished, and as you can see from the results, we've got an access time of 1.21 milliseconds, a cache speed of 39.96 megabytes per second, and a maximum read speed of 28.24 megabytes per second. There's also an overall score, and that allows you to compare against other devices and computers, etc. And that score comes in at 3,447.3. I'm going to run the test again. I always like to run it more than once and see what we get. So on the second time round we actually get slight performance improvement. Access time is 1.2 milliseconds, cache speed 40.02 megabytes per second, maximum read speed 30.5 megabytes per second, and overall score 3650. So slightly better performance. Now what we're going to do is take a look at this in USB 3 port and see if we get an improved performance than we've had in the previous tests. Here are the results from the first test, and to be honest I'm really surprised. The performance in USB 3.0 has been absolutely magnificent. Access speed has been 0.79 milliseconds, the cache speed's up to 82.92 megabytes per second, so that's double what it was over USB 2. The maximum read speed, we've got 81.56 megabytes per second with an overall score of 14,113. Just going to run the test one more time. As I said, I like to do it a couple of times to make sure we're getting an accurate reading. So the results are in, and this time it's slightly less than the first test, very similar. Got access time of 0.8 milliseconds, cache speed 82.67 megabytes per second, maximum read speed 80.25 megabytes per second, with an overall score 14,096. So very similar, if not a little bit less in terms of performance than the first test, but still, in my opinion, it's performed better than I actually expected. So that's the read test done. Let's go and have a look at a few tests that we can do that's going to show you how fast this performs in writing mode. To test the write speed of the device, I'm going to be using this bench, and I'm going to run a number of tests on this. First one is to copy over a complete directory of 100 megabyte of files in total, so there's 10 different files, and this shouldn't take too long. As you can see, the results have come in already. This is over USB 2.0, and the transfer rate we're getting is 17.7 megabytes per second and a time of 5,622 milliseconds. Let's run it again. I just want to run it 2 or 3 times, and again it shouldn't take too long, and the results are in very similar, 17.765 and 5,606. And just for a third time, let's see what results we get, and again very similar, 17.605 megabytes per second and 5,657 milliseconds. I'm going to try and do this now on USB 3 and see what we get. So here we go, this is in USB 3.0, and running the same test, the same files, and there is a marked improvement. As you can see, first test, transfer rate 4310 milliseconds and 23.10 megabytes per second. Second test come in 4326 ms and 23.02 megabytes per second, and the third and final one we've got is 4353 and 22.87 megabytes per second. So as you can see, an improvement over USB 2. Not massive improvement to be honest, but it's still an improvement nevertheless. Now let's move on to the next test. We've got 2 more tests to do, and just to give us an overall view on how this is going to perform with some slightly bigger file sizes. So I've started the next test, and in this test we've now got a 1 gigabyte of files in total. So again, a number of files ranging from 100, 150 meg to, I think the biggest is 450 meg, and it's going to do exactly the same test, and this will take a little bit longer, but again over USB 2.0, and then we'll try USB 3.0. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it 3 times and show you the results. So the test results are in, and as you can see they're very similar, and we're hitting around the 17.9 mark, 17.95, 17.93, and the final one was 17.91. Time, obviously it took quite a while, large number of files, over a gigabyte in total, come to around 58,000 milliseconds. So let's run this test in USB 3 and see what performance improvement we can get. So the test has finished, and as you can see in USB 3.0 you're getting around 21 megabytes per second, transfer rate nearly 22 there. Really impressed in terms of the write speed, and it's pretty much in between the 15 to 30 megabytes per second quoted in the manufacturer's spec. Now I'm going to run one final test, and this test is one single file just over a gigabyte in size, and let's see what results we get, again from both USB 2 and USB 3. So on USB 2.0 the tests come in, and we're topping out just over 18 megabytes per second. The first test was just under 18 megabytes per second, so a little bit faster, but again that's just one file, but it was a file over 1 gigabyte in size. So let's have a look at the final test, same test, 1 gigabyte file, and we're going to do it on USB 3.0 and see what we get. Results are in, and then USB 3.0 we're getting just over 21 megabytes per second, actually just under 22, so 21.83, 21.82 and 21.72. So overall an improvement on USB 2, but not a massive improvement in total. So guys, that pretty much concludes the review and speed test It's not a bad device. Clearly you're going to get a slight improvement on USB 3 over USB 2. It's quite a big improvement on the read speeds, but actually the write speeds is not as impressive as I would have expected, but there is a slight improvement. It's not a bad priced product either. I picked this up for around the £15 mark in the UK. I think normally it's around £20 to £25. So guys, I hope you like the video. Please leave us a comment. What do you think? Will you be picking this up? What do you think to the speed tests? Let me know. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And we'll see you all in the next video.